All right, what's going on, folks? Lately we've seen the talk of graphene, and especially when it comes to the world of tools. Well, I guess the best place to start is to answer the question, what is it? Graphene is made from, you probably guessed, graphite, and graphite's the stuff that's in our pencil lids that we write with. They also make like you can use graphite to lubricate. Back when I was in Boy Scouts, we had the Pine Wood Derby, and my grandpa thought he was slick by adding a little bit of graphite to the wheels to give it a little bit more roll. There's a lot of science jargon and stuff that goes into graphite and what graphite is and how it's made and this and that, but we're not going to go all into it. We're just kind of go over the highlights, if you will. We'll go through some pictures and whatnot. Not that these will mean a whole lot to you, but originally it was discovered in 1962, but it was only able to be studied while it was up on metal surfaces. And then in 2004, it was rediscovered by two scientists by the name of Andre Guillaume, and I apologize for butchering these names. And then Konstantin Novoslav, and I know, or Nov Nosivlov. Sorry, I butchered those names. I know, but and by this time, graphene was more easily. They could isolate it more easily, and thus making it easier to study. Um, Now, their experiments with graphene and its uses netted them the Nobel Prize in Physics in 2010. And just a little bit more about graphene, it's the thinnest material known to man and is 200 times stronger, at least in tensile strength, compared to steel. And I'm not going to go into a whole lot of this because this is just a short little overview as it pertains to what we're all about, and that's tools and how it can benefit those tools. But it has almost unlimited potential in any application, from transistors to solar cells, touchscreen displays, water filters, batteries, and the list goes on. It's transparent and it's inert, which means it doesn't react with other compounds and elements, and it's flexible, and it's extremely lightweight. One source that I pulled up while doing this video noted that if you covered a football field with an entire sheet of the stuff, that it would weigh less than a gram. This material literally has the potential to change our lives and the things that we use every day. Now, this is where it gets interesting because, as far as battery use goes, you know, and the electronic aspect of it, graphene is better at carrying heat, and this is what's known as having high thermal conductivity. Uh, and it also conducts electricity extremely well. Now, usually a lot of elements and compounds, and I guess particularly metals, or things that you use for electrical applications, when something that has high thermal conductivity usually conducts electricity extremely well. Graphene, offers very little resistance to electrons. As it travels through it, it's better than copper, and we all know that copper is conducts electricity very well. And obviously, why we use copper in a lot of things, that our lights that runs through our wires that run through our house, homes, and businesses, and that carry electricity. But graphene is so much better that it's in the realm of what they call superconductors. Um, all this equates to better efficiency and a cooler operating battery pack. The graphene dissipates heat extremely well. Now, with that having this makes the battery pack run more efficiently and cooler. And with graphene having an extremely low resistance, it can the battery packs can be charged in extremely at a crazy rate. As in 15, depending on the size of the pack. We're talking, you know, 15 minutes. Like I said, depending on the size of the battery and the size of the pack, and just some different factors. Now, just this is where kind of some questions I'm sure will be asked, but to be clear, the batteries are still lithium ion, but they have been enhanced by the graphene, not replaced. These are not graphene batteries. These are lithium ion with that have been enhanced by graphene. Now, speaking of lithium ion, there's other types of battery chemistries. There's the lithium iron phosphate, and, as well, that is used because some feel like the lithium iron can be a little bit safer than the lithium ion. But we're not going to get into that debate, and we're not going to talk about that. Just know that the graphene can be used with different other types of batteries, and we'll talk about some applications in just a little bit about that. And because because these lithium ion cells have been enhanced by graphene, this is good news for us with the power tools, because the power tools that have been set up to run off lithium ion batteries, they will still work with these graphene enhanced batteries, because at the heart of these battery packs are still the lithium ion battery cells. Now this goes into what I really wanted to talk about, and that is the CAT brand of power tools. Um, we've got they. I'm not sure if they've been released in other parts of the world. I wasn't able to find any information about that, but they do have a really expansive line. Um, it's somewhat expansive when compared to some other brands that come out with just one or two tools. What comes to mind is whenever Harbor Freight released some of the Hercules stuff. There wasn't much to the line, and same way with this. I'm sure they'll fill it out eventually. Now, for those of you who don't know, CATpowertools is manufactured by Positech Tools. Now, this is the same company that makes Rockwell and Works tools. And to my knowledge, CAT is the first, or at least Positech, however you want to word that, is the first power tool platform, like I said, that I've been able to find that uses graphene enhanced batteries. Like I said, I wasn't able to find out as much information as far as the release date goes, or whether it's been used in different countries, overseas, or not. And now I have reached out to CAT for input and for questions and all that, but at the time of this video, I haven't heard back. Now we'll just kind of go over a little bit of, since we're talking about graphene. This is their 5 amp hour battery pack. It's it's across the top it says graphene. One thing I will notice that I like is this has not 3, not 4, but 5 indicator bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Press the button and you get a more accurate indication of your battery pack level. Now, as I said, this is the world's first graphene battery on power tools. This particular battery is the 5 amp hour battery. Now, I've seen different things on the internet, particularly on their website, that I've seen 18 minutes and 20 minutes. And like I said, we'll talk about that in just a minute. It operates as low as 25 degrees Celsius. So if you're living in the Arctic Circle, these will continue to work for you. Now, another positive about the graphene enhanced batteries is that they're claiming longer cycles. They're claiming a higher number of cycles. So, for instance, just for an example, 2,000 cycles or even 1,000 cycles on a regular non-graphene enhanced lithium-ion battery. These are going to have you know, these are going to have 4,000 cycles. That's what they're claiming. And because of the thermal conductivity and everything we talked about, these battery packs will stay cooler because of not only of its atomic makeup, but because its ability to dissipate the heat, and because of the small or the very low electrical resistance. Um, Now, just to put that in perspective, all know Milwaukee has their supercharger, and as far as the amps go, the supercharger from Milwaukee, I believe, when it's charging up a high output battery, will I think charges it like 14 amps. I think I had looked that up a minute ago. It charges at I think it charges at 14 amps. The Cat one charges at 15 amps. So again, you're charging the 5 amp hour graphene battery to 80% in 15 minutes. And in 5 more minutes, you're getting 20 more percent and it's fully charged. Now, I have seen that somewhere else that it said 18 minutes. But either way, just for a comparison, Milwaukee's 6 amp hour battery charged on the supercharger in 35 minutes. So we're talking anywhere from 15, I'd estimate it to be about 15 minutes faster at charging a 5 amp hour battery versus 35 minutes from Milwaukee's 6 amp hour battery. Now, I don't know what that would equate to if, say, for instance, the 5 amp hour battery was high output. Then we can kind of compare apples to apples. But I thought that was interesting and something worth noting. So this is what they're calling their super quick charger. Now they do have a regular charger, and for their non-graphene enhanced batteries, it's still charged. You're still getting a 35-minute charge time out of a 2 amp hour battery pack versus, let's see, Milwaukee's CP 2.0. The rapid charger is 27 minutes, and the standard charger is 42 minutes. So you're still getting a little bit quicker charge time. So I would guess. So this is a 4 amp charger. So I think this is going to be. I think this is going to be faster than the Milwaukee standard charger, but probably not as fast as their rapid charger. I may be wrong. Let me know down in the comments. I'm the first person to admit when I made a mistake, and I will certainly, own up to those misinformation points that I've put out. Now, this is just my personal opinion and my personal sort of guess as far as the future of graphene and the technology, and as it becomes easier to manufacture and isolate and use, and costs come down. I think in the near future you're going to see other power tool companies such as Milwaukee, DeWalt, Makita. They'll start introducing graphene in their battery packs. And like I said before, the wonderful thing about this is that you're not replacing the lithium ion batteries with graphene batteries. This is just simply, you know, all the batteries have anodes. I know so we're not going to get too much into the whole situation, but these are the components on the outsides of the battery that help facilitate the electrical charge and discharge of these batteries. Like I was saying, because of this, these power tools. Say that you just bought the Gen 3 hammer drill from Milwaukee, and all of a sudden Milwaukee wants to come out with a graphene enhanced battery pack. Well, it's good news because you'll be able to use that graphene pack. Same thing with the chargers. You'll be able to use the chargers with these lithium ion batteries, and they'll still work. Everything will still work. It's just the graphene enhances the ability of the battery pack to remain cooler because it has less electrical resistance, and because it dissipates heat better, and it's lighter. And I think also because of this, you're going to see it's going to eliminate the need for these giant battery packs. So, say you have, you have some six, you have the 6 amp hour battery pack or the 8 amp hour battery pack, or even the 3 amp hour battery pack from Milwaukee. You know, you'll be able to charge these batteries at at a higher rate because they're replacing the whatever anodes they have currently on these battery packs with these graphene anodes, and that's going to allow the pack to not only accept a charge at a faster rate, but also be able to discharge, at the rate the tool needs it, but it will run a lot cooler. And when you have a cooler battery pack, it lasts longer and and it charges faster. Um, so I just think that you're gonna see a decrease in the need for these big giant hulking battery packs because you can recharge them in less than a half hour, and we're not talking a 2 amp hour battery pack. We're talking something that's substantial. You know, in 30 minutes you can have a 6 amp hour battery pack recharged, and it's not hot. Your charger might be a little warm, maybe. Well, we haven't looked at any of that, but at least the battery pack is going to be cool, or at least cooler. And I think as far as this battery technology goes, you're going to see things like cell phones that have graphene enhanced battery packs. You know, I think in 2016 that Chinese cell phone manufacturer Huawei, I think they were recently banned in the United States or something. I don't know, but they're really good phones, spec wise, and they're cheap. Um, they recently released, back in 2016, they released a phone with some graphite enhancements in it. It made it made the phone cooler, I think by like 5 degrees. Um, you know, so things like some enhancements like that, and when using them in batteries, you'll see cell phones that once they're charged, they don't need to be recharged for days and weeks. Not hours. A lot of times if you're doing a lot of work on your cell phone, um, by 2 o'clock, you're like, dang, I need to find a charger. Well, with this battery technology, you will find that it'll increase the amount of time that they can hold a charge. Um, and anyway, this technology is gonna shake up the battery world, and it's gonna benefit the consumers. Um, One thing I will say about this 2 amp hour battery is I'm not seeing a. Oh, it does have an indicator light. It just must be on the other side. Yeah. So anyway, I just flipped the battery indicator. So I like that they put an indicator light on this 2 amp hour battery. Also, some of those, some other power tool companies just left that off of there. Um, anyway, that was kind of my little bit of information, some of my thoughts, my feelings. I'm kind of excited to see where this is going to go, how this is going to impact not only the world of tools, but you got to think about electric vehicles. The fact that they'll be able to use these in the cells to help facilitate discharge and recharge. And I'm not sure how much further the graphene can go in the packs themselves and in batteries, but you know, according to the research that I've done, the technology is pretty much limitless. I mean, the possibilities are endless for this material. Um, Appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you on the next video.